Hello everybody and welcome back to more Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters Coliseum. Today's opponent, Ishizu Ishtar. And this is Blocker's bonus stage. It's opposite day. I got the parts mixed up. I'm supposed to say this is Blocker's bonus stage and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monster Coliseum. Mea culpa.
Ishizu, how lucky. I didn't think I would ever see you again. Actually, with you, there's never such a thing as luck. You knew we would meet again.
Yes, the sands of time told me of this reunion.
I don't need the ability to tell the future to know that this duel will be even more difficult than the one before.
It's time to begin, Yugi.
All right, Ishizu.
So, Ishizu is the second opponent in the final area. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I am totally disappointed by this level. She is a total pushover. I'm not kidding. She plays light, 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 wind, light, wind, wind, and light. So 4 of each. And yeah, she is a total pushover. Her stage benefits wind and light, which is the only thing she plays. But the problem is, other than their high defense, she has nothing going on. There's not even a counterbalance strategy you have to contend with. Just play wood and thunder. Since that's what beats wind and light, thunder and wood beat wind and light, and that's the only thing she plays. So, yeah, there you go. She doesn't even have a counterbalance strategy, and that is just absolutely pathetic for something this far in the game. Her two types don't interact at all, meaning you can just completely steamroll them if you've leveled up, wood and thunder, which is what they're weak to. So basically, yeah, bring wood and thunder, or anything that's not dark or water, as that's what gives her monsters an advantage: dark and water. There is nothing else here. There's no environmental traps. There's no weird gimmicks. The environment doesn't change at all. This is a joke. Seriously, other than the quantity of monsters she plays, like she plays 8 monsters, which is pretty high, but other than that, she does nothing at all. This is a joke duel. Now, maybe it's just my perspective, since obviously I use wood and thunder, or I use a lot of wood monsters, so I'm perfectly equipped to handle this duel. But really, unless you play dark or water, you'll be fine. No, actually, you'll be fine even if you do play water, as water's opposite is wood. So, yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. This duel should have been... I'd say this duel should have been all the way back in Area 2. It's that bad. Or it's that easy. The only really challenging issue with her stage
I do not need to rely on
Lady,
my
you won't destroy one
fortune-telling
monster of
powers
mine.
to defeat you.
Okay, that was mean. I apologize. Why am I apologizing to an AI? Oh well. Yeah, I'm weirder than you thought. So,
defenses.
So really the only thing unique about this stage is the size. It's a really large map. It's actually, I think, the largest in the game. And there's 3 distinct pathways, so to speak. So, you know, she likes to... The only really strategy she has is to ambush you by going up the left side. And due to how big of a gap there is between these paths, you know, there's only an entrance and an exit, and actually trying to cross, if you're on one path and trying to cross to another, it can be difficult because there's actually a huge gap between them. So that can be a challenge for sure. And her wind monsters are actually really fast, and due to the large space, it's really hard to corner them. So the best thing you can really do is to just keep some monsters towards where your symbol is at the beginning. That way you can fend off an attack and pretty much surround your symbol with monsters before she can attack you. As for her rare monsters, she doesn't really have that many either. She has Mystical Elf, which, you know, it has good movement and it has some strong attack, but that's really it. And it's also the only time in this game you can actually get it, so there's some interesting things for you. If you're going for 100%, get Mystical Elf. Now that's pretty much it for strategy. Seriously. But I've always wondered about this stage. If you listen to the music, I mean, just listen to it right now. It's kind of angelic, isn't it? Like, it's very... And the stage itself seems very peaceful. Like, as you can tell, we're in the sky, kind of in the clouds. And at the beginning, there was, like, nature shots of butterflies and plants. So, I know this might really be a stretch. And I swear I hear, like, a harp and a pan flute. So, we're in the clouds. Is this stage supposed to be heaven? Like, you see the clouds, right? We're above them. We're clearly high in the sky. And the stage is called NeverEnding Sight. So, maybe it's never ending because...
I have already foreseen that attack.
Because we're in the eternal afterlife. And I actually really like the music for this stage. You know, it's a lot different from what we usually hear in this game, which has mostly been more orchestral, Hollywood action movie scores, or fantasy epic scores. So this more melancholy, low-key, peaceful kind of song is actually really nice. I like it a lot. But yeah, maybe it's called NeverEnding Sight because we're in the eternal afterlife, so to speak. Look, I'm sorry, it's just there's so little to talk about with here. There's so little to talk about here, and I don't mean to get all religious or anything, because, I mean, I know that's not what y'all are here for. I mean, you know, I don't talk about serious stuff on here. I mean, who watches a Yu-Gi-Oh game Let's Play for, you know, serious stuff like that? Yeah, I don't know. It's just what the stage always reminded me of. Since I was little. I mean, since I first played it. You know, that was always the impression I got, at least. Funnily enough, there's some cut content involving Ishizu. If you look at the trailer for this game, her stage isn't this one. You face her in a later area that we haven't seen yet called Sealed Sanctuary, which is kind of like a temple. That's where you face a spoiler opponent.
I have seen the vision. I must believe in what I saw and remain on the path.
And since we have time, let's get into cut content anyway. Ishizu actually originally had a totally different stage, which was Limitless Sanctuary. It's a couple stages later, and you'll be facing an opponent who I will not be spoiling. And if you watch that trailer, there's actually some other things you'll notice. If you notice, when it goes to our turn, we see the status bar with
Yugi. I didn't expect you to be this strong.
With Yugi's name and all that. Well, in the trailer, we actually see that instead of saying Yami Yugi, it has the name you put on your save profile. You know, the name you put on your profile at the start of the game. I'll show you when it goes to my turn. See right there? It has Yami Yugi Wood, or your symbol type, and your AP. So, yeah. That was originally going to have whatever name you put on your profile. And then otherwise, so, in the final game, otherwise your save profile name actually doesn't really come up at all. I think this is a holdover from older Yu-Gi-Oh games, where you don't play as Yugi, but you play as original characters. And it's basically just an insert proxy of you. You'd be referred to by that name, like how in the Zelda games, instead of everyone calling him Link, they call you the name you put in the name input. And that worked due to there not being any voice acting in those older games. It was all done in text boxes, so you could just replace your name in the name file, like they do in the Zelda games. And that worked due to there not being voice acting. So maybe they had that in as a contingency. That was like a contingency plan in case the voice cast wasn't able to get on. Because remember, getting the whole cast of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters dub was actually a big selling point of this game. Speaking of voice clips, if you go into the game's files, you can find all sorts of unused dialogue of the characters referencing things that don't happen. Like characters referencing things like stage hazards, even if their stage doesn't have them, or evolving or fusing, which opponents always just do not do. Their AI just doesn't allow it. So hypothetically, why were these recorded? I have two theories. One, this game was meant to have some kind of multiplayer sandbox versus mode where you could pick characters and duel whoever you wanted, and duel as whoever you wanted, and these dialogue boxes were meant to be for when you do those things while playing as those characters, rather than them as opponents in the game. Rather than coming up when they're opponents in the game. And that would have been awesome. I'd love that. Because aside from the campaign mode we're in now, there's almost nothing else to do in this game. I think this is further backed up because there's a mode called Free Battle, which is just dueling people you've already beaten. But the name implies something more along the lines of what I was thinking. Or two. They were recorded for the second reason they were recorded could have been something I learned from Rockstar Games. Rockstar, since they used a lot of celebrity voice acting back in the day, like Ray Liotta, Burt Reynolds, Samuel L. Jackson, is that they had to record lines for every possible in-game situation. Since games change so much in development, and they often can't just get the actor back to redo stuff if they add or want to change something. So maybe it's a similar situation here, how they have the voice actors record every possible scenario now. Granted, that's more accurate for Rockstar, because obviously Samuel L. Jackson and Burt Reynolds and Ray Liotta and Dennis Hopper and like all the big name A-list celebrities they have in those GTA games obviously have busier schedules than pretty much all the 4Kids cast. Not saying the 4Kids cast wasn't busy, it's just, I mean, the 4Kids cast probably would have been easier to get since the 4Kids cast all work for the same company for making this game, and they're all based in New York City, so getting them back would probably have been easier.
What? Can the future be changing?
But granted, I'm sure those guys had really tough schedules too. I'm not downplaying it or knocking them at all, so don't get the wrong idea, please. See, that's just some interesting notes about the cut content of this game.
Excellent attack, Yugi.
Yeah, they have dialogue referencing monsters they never actually use. Like Joey, he uses only Fire Reaper, but he has dialogue for using Flame Swordsman. Mai has it for using Harpy Lady Sisters, which she only uses a regular Harpy Lady.
That was a lot of...
In fact, the AI won't actually ever do an evolution, even if you hack the game and give them, you know, high-level monsters, and if you give them the high-level monsters to do it, I mean, level up their monsters to where they can do it, they just won't do it. But also, they have lines for things like environmental damage, which even in the stages where the opponents have environmental damage, if they trigger it, they won't say anything. So, yeah, I don't know which theory's true. I kind of lean more towards the record everything you could possibly need now during a session. That seems like it'd be easier. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, I'm going for the symbol. And Great Moth, you know, this stage is easier for me because obviously I use a lot of wood monsters, and she uses wind without anything to back him up, which makes the stage really easy. I mean, if you're using my symbol at least, but you know. Yeah, I would have loved to have some kind of free battle mode in this game, because that would have been really awesome. But really, there's nothing else to do in this game once you beat the campaign. You can play the game again, and with the goal of unlocking every monster, but there's no reward for it, it's just something you can do. Plus, I mean, the game kind of encourages this since it keeps track of how many monsters you have and tells you how many you're missing, so... I mean, it's not something to go out of your way to do, but I guess it could be fun. I would have loved a free battle mode where you could pick characters and just duel duel who you want and play as who you want. I mean, the name Free Battle...
The future's already been decided.
I think the name Free Battle Mode definitely fits that more than what we got.
This will finish you.
And that's the end for Ishizu. Yeah, I think what they did definitely fits more than what we actually got, which is just replay duels you've already beaten.
To have my symbol destroyed, Yugi, I lose.
It makes sense though, because this game seems to have been developed kind of quickly. Like when you get down to it, it's kind of just a basic game. You just duel opponents.
Ishizu, I win.
Yugi, you were truly able to change the future.
I am not guided by destiny. I only did what I believed was right. And that was what led me to victory.
I see. If that is what you believe, then let it guide you. Until we meet again, Yugi.
Take care. Goodbye, Ishizu.
That was nice. I like the ending to that. It was humble. It was sweet. So we are done. Ishizu's really only unique monster was Mystical Elf, and aside from that, nothing really worth clamoring to get. Maybe Ocubeam or Lesser Dragon. But most of her monsters you can get in the store. Tune in next time when we face Yami Merrick. See you there, folks. Have a good one.